There's something about that late 50s, early 60s pocket in jazz that just feels locked in. Not polished in a modern sense, not overly produced. Just musicians in a room, listening hard, pushing each other, and somehow landing exactly where they need to be. I've been sitting with a handful of records from that era recently. Not the obvious ones that everyone always talks about, but albums that feel just as essential once you actually spend some time with them. And the thing is, these aren't deep cuts in the sense that nobody knows them. It's more that they don't always get put forward. They sort of sit just off to the side of the usual conversation. So I thought we'd fix that a bit. The first one I want to bring in is The Happy Blues by Gene Ammons. This is a 1956 Prestige Records session, and it really feels like one of those records where the room matters just as much as the notes. You've got Ammons on tenor alongside Art Farmer, Jackie McLean, and the whole thing just breathes. The track I keep coming back to is The Great Lie. There's this brilliant back and forth between Ammons and McLean. Not competitive, not showy, just conversational in the best way. You can hear them reacting to each other in real time. Art Farmer's solo near the start is beautifully shaped, really measured, nothing wasted. And underneath it all, the rhythm section is doing exactly what it should. It all just locks together without ever feeling forced. This is one of those records where you don't need to analyze it too much. You just let it play and it works. From there, I want to shift into something with a slightly different energy. Soul Trombone by Curtis Fuller. This came out in 1961 on Impulse Records, and the lineup alone tells you what you're in for. Freddie Hubbard, Jimmy Heath, Cedar Walton, Jimmy Cobb. It's one of those records that feels immediately alive. The opening track, The Clan, just gets going straight away. The drums have that slightly skippy, forward momentum, and Fuller and Hubbard come in with real intent. There's a kind of confidence to the playing, like everyone knows just how strong the band is. Cedar Walton's chords are worth paying attention to here as well. They've got weight to them, but there's still plenty of space. Nothing feels overcrowded. Then you've got the track Dear Old Stockholm, which flips the mood entirely. Much smoother, more restrained. It shows how controlled the group is dynamically. Overall, the album just feels cool in the truest sense of the word. Not forced, not stylized, just naturally stylish. Now this next one, the lineup alone is almost unfair. Whims of Chambers by the Paul Chambers Sextet. Released in 1957 on Blue Note Records. You've got Donald Byrd, John Coltrane, Kenny Burrell, Horace Silver, Philly Joe Jones. It's one of those sessions where every single player could easily lead their own date. And here they are, all in one place. The track We Six is probably the clearest example of what makes this album work so well. It just moves from solo to solo, giving each musician space, but never losing momentum. There's a real sense of flow. No one overstays their welcome. No one underplays either. And then the track Just for the Love has that brilliant opening with Byrd and Coltrane side by side. Trumpet and tenor, slightly different textures but completely aligned. Kenny Burrell deserves a mention as well. Every time he steps forward, even briefly, he adds this warmth that softens the edges of everything else. It's an upbeat record, but not in a lightweight way. There's substance behind it. It's definitely one to sit with properly. Now we have an album from Art Farmer named Modern Art. This one was released in 1958 and it's a completely different kind of listen. It came out on the United Artists record label and features musicians such as Benny Golson, Bill Evans, Addison Farmer, and Dave Bailey. This is a much more understated record. Fair Weather is the track that really sums it up for me. It has that unhurried, almost strolling quality. Nothing pushes too hard, nothing tries to grab your attention aggressively. Everything about it is inviting. The phrasing is clean, the tone is warm, and there's a real sense of space in the arrangement. And Bill Evans here is exactly what you'd hope for. Subtle, precise, and always serving the mood of the track rather than drawing attention to himself. The whole album sits in that softer, more reflective space. It's not trying to overwhelm you, it just gradually pulls you in. The last one is Grooveyard by the Montgomery Brothers, released in 1961 on Riverside Records. You've got Wes Montgomery, Buddy Montgomery, Monk Montgomery, with Bobby Thomas on drums. And there's something about the family connection here that really comes through in the playing. Delirium is the standout track for me. There's this fascinating interplay between Wes and Buddy. At moments, it almost feels like they're about to drift apart harmonically, like the whole thing might loosen just a bit too much, but it never does. They always find their way back. That slight tension, that sense of, are they going to hold this together, is what makes the track so engaging. It keeps you listening closely. The album as a whole has a really distinct identity because of that interplay. It doesn't sound like anyone else. They were the albums that have been in rotation for me lately. 5 records that don't always get pushed to the front, but absolutely hold their own when you spend some time with them. I'd be interested to know what you'd put alongside these, especially from that same late 50s, early 60s period, because there's so much depth there that it's easy to miss things. If you've enjoyed the video and you want to continue hanging out with me here on the channel, I'll pop a video in the corner for you to click on now. Other than that, I'd like to say thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.